Welcome back to another week here in Seoul, South Korea. This week I went to Climbing Park Seongsu to do some bouldering. I happened to try the moon board for the very first time. I had some really delicious food, but I started off my week in the Climb Yangjae to do some Kilter board training. So I started doing the Kilter board not that long ago, and I realized that I need to be on it a lot more because when I'm bouldering, I usually am not doing cave climbing or I'm not really working on finger strength much. So I will be practicing a lot more on the Kilter board and getting better at that. This is set at 40 degrees. But yeah, I just want to work on this more than doing dynamic climbing. More of the traditional style. And there's actually not that many Kilter boards available in Seoul. This one in Yangjae, a lot of people go to. And I was just trying to do V2. I was able to do at max V1, V2, between there. There was a problem, it said it was V1, V2. But at 40 degrees, it just seems like V4, to be honest, when it comes to bouldering. I'm just not really good at when walls are angled so much. And I remember getting a YouTube comment on my last Kilter board video saying I should practice more on holding tension. So I appreciate any comments that you guys may have, because I'm learning from the community. And that's another thing I want to talk about is just the bouldering community overall. It's pretty much changed my life. I used to live in Australia, and I really wasn't that active when I lived there. It wasn't until I moved to Korea and discovered bouldering and the bouldering community where I really started obsessing over something that had to do with a physical activity. And I've been loving it ever since. But not only the fact that it is a good physical activity to keep doing, it's just the community in general. I've made a lot of friends being in Seoul, regardless of language barrier, regardless of so many things. And it's like, just if you're involved in the climbing community, it's almost like people just welcome you with open arms in all parts of the world, because we're all here on the same type of journey. I moved to Seoul pretty much not knowing anybody. I was in a 4-year relationship in Australia, and things changed, and I decided to move to a country where I knew nobody. So bouldering came into my life at a very, very sensitive time, and it really changed my life for the better, to be honest. And now I can't imagine my life without bouldering. And that's how I feel about it. So I'm very grateful that it came to my attention at the time that it did. And I'm just showing Climbing Park Seongsu here. I did go to this gym in another video, but I showed floor 1, floor 2, and floor 3 because this gym is huge. And it also has a basement, which is the training area. But I was aiming for doing a gray problem here. So I warmed up off camera and then started recording at this brown problem.
Tricky. Tension. The first two moves are easy.
And this problem had a lot to do with not falling off the wall when you're stepping on that volume. So it has a lot to do with where your body is positioned. And where your weight is, so that you could put all of your weight against the holds. To keep you stuck on the wall. And there's another part that requires you to stretch your leg out. And I thought I could reach it initially, but you really have to really reach for it. But this was a really fun problem, and it was satisfying to get it. And that was my first brown problem of the day.
Oh.
And this is a problem I saw online, which again looked easier online than when I arrived there.
If only I was 10 years younger, huh? 24-year-old me would this would be easy.
I realized that the beginning was way more challenging than I thought. Tiny footholds, very intricate slab start. But I eventually didn't do the problem and went to some brown problems. I don't know, about this day bouldering here, it was a lot harder than I expected. But again, I wasn't pushing myself really to send the problem. I was just happy to get even close to the end and just get a good workout. Because I've noticed after sending a lot of problems that it's not that satisfying if you're sending a problem and it's not with great form. I've noticed if I've done a problem, and even if it was difficult and I got to the end, but I watch how my form was throughout the problem and I'm not satisfied, it doesn't feel like I really finished. So I get more satisfied when I have good form even halfway through a problem and I end up not finishing it. So I think it's more about perfecting form and feeling good about that and working on strengths. So that's why when I didn't solve a problem on this day, I wasn't beating myself up about it. I went to this problem here with slopers. But by this point, I was pretty weak in the day. And I just couldn't lift up.
Too weak. It's like, remember that? Oh yeah, it's right there.
But I went to the basement room to try a moonboard because I've never ever even felt what a moonboard was like. This one didn't have lights on it, so I just wanted to feel it out. I wanted to see how hard it was, and it indeed is really hard, harder than a kilter board. So it made me realize and humbled me. It showed me that I have a long way to go, and I respect anyone that's really good at moonboarding because that is crazy. I tried this little dyno situation, and the gray level actually has a very bad hold. It's almost like you have to dyno into a little crimpy jug. Afterwards, we hung out in Seoul Forest, and I tried this Korean Coca-Cola Oreo. I thought it was pretty interesting.
Like Coca-Cola. But does it taste like Coca-Cola?
No, it tastes just same, right?
Yeah, not really. Not really.
Summer is over in Seoul, so everyone is out enjoying themselves. It's not so hot. You're not walking around sweating all the time. So it's a perfect day for Seoul Forest. We were so hungry after climbing, so we went to have some pasta at this spot in Seongsu. And I haven't had pasta in so long, and this was absolutely delicious. So if you're in Seongsu area, I recommend coming here. Afterwards, got some dessert at a cheesecake place. I love the old American theme in this cafe, or this cheesecake restaurant, whatever you want to call it. And the cheesecake was delicious. This was my favorite one. The matcha one was pretty good, but this was really good. And it had ice cream. I'll see you guys next week. I'm actually going to a new gym in a new country. See you there.